a warm welcome to Sky Sports' continued coverage of the Embassy World Pool Championships. A great atmosphere here at the New Century Hall in Manchester as we're down to the team semi-finals. England already through to the final, but now it's a case of Ireland against France. As you can hear, a great atmosphere, fans for both of the teams. Let's go down now to the floor with Alan Hughes and your commentator, Jim White.
Gentlemen, after the traditional handshakes, let battle commence.
So this is it. Who's going to oppose England in the World Team Championships? Will it be France? Will it be Ireland? The traditional handshakes before the battle commences. And this is all about the pressure cooker. It's one player, one frame at a time. You're not just playing for yourself anymore, you're playing for your country. And having played for Canada in many internationals, I can tell you this is what pressure is all about. Frédéric Ballois, one of the top French representatives. He'll be a tough man to beat in this, and certainly in one-frame battles.
Thank you, ladies and
Frédéric,
gentlemen.
very highly regarded.
First frame. Ireland.
And Thomas Kinsella for Ireland. They call him Dracula's coach. Hard as nails. Ballois to break off for France. It's a best of 27 semi-final. The first team to reach 14 frames. And I can tell you as Ballois breaks off,
Open table.
it's an open table for Thomas Kinsella. There'll be plenty of atmosphere out there. Kinsella won 14 of the 24 frames that he has played thus far in these team championships. An experienced player.
Yellow ball's in play.
So it's the yellows in play. As Thomas takes a lot of time, as all these players will, given the importance of this, playing for the right to meet England in the team final. These team championships are all about personalities coming together as a team. And I'm joined in the commentary booth by a man that understands that concept very well. He's the vice captain for the Australian team, a gentleman that topped the averages in these team matches, Jack Halligan. And Jack, with these players that are out there, it's important to get out of the gate. You've got to lead by example. Your teammates' eyes are all on you.
30 seconds.
Can't be easy.
Jim, it's very difficult, but it's very important to get away to a good start. I think you take the pressure off your teammates that follow you, and I'm sure both teams are out to get that early score on the board. Forceful, attacking, positive stuff. I think they have to play a lot of that, particularly in these early 4 or 5 frames, just to grab that advantage, take the pressure off your teammates, throw the pressure on the opposition, and I'm sure they're both out to do that. They're both very fine players, these two. I remember only 2 years ago I played Dracula's coachman, as we call him, Thomas Kinsella.
30 seconds.
He never gave me a shot in this particular, the same match, and the first game of the same match. And Frédéric Ballois is a very good player, extremely good player, and I'm sure this will be a great little tussle, this.
Well, Frédéric Ballois, of the 24 frames that he's played, he's won 19 of them. Now that translates into over a 79% winning average. That's some feat.
It's fantastic.
Now, if there was anything to live on between these two, Jack, if you could step out on the limb and pick a team that you think might just have that slight edge, who do you think it would be?
Jim, I must sit on the fence on this one. I really mean it too. I've thought about it a lot, particularly this afternoon. Both sides beat us 14-13 for the barest possible margin. I've got the deepest respect for France. They were the easy beats in 93-94. And they've really picked up the tempo in the last 2 or 3 years. They've beaten us both years, the last 2 years. Last year, fortunately, we went on to win the world title. This year, we can't do that. France have got an amazing team spirit. They've got a magnificent captain in Tony Holgate. He teaches them to enjoy their pool. They have fun doing this, and I just can't line up both. They're very different sides, and they've got different ways of preparing themselves for the match. So I really, if it was possible, I'd say it's a dead heat.
Well, there's the Irish team. As you said, a lot of team spirit. And a lot of supporters here, needless to say. Certainly, as far as the tables are concerned, France, maybe a slight edge. There's the Irish mascot parked there on the left of your screen. We'll see if we can give him something to cheer about. But France only lost one match in the round-robin play. Of course, that to England. England went undefeated. Ireland lost 2 matches. So obviously Ireland must have lost to France in the round-robin stages.
It's not very often you see a turnaround, Jim, in these matches. It's very rare that this is our 5th year now of world titles. Very rare you see a side win
30 seconds.
and then lose later on in the tournament to the same team. Very rare.
Well, has he negotiated the gap between the 8 ball and the red to get through to the yellow? Looks very close even from our overhead camera. He's having a good look at it as Thomas Kinsella. And there again, still difficult to tell.
It appears he can get it. He's having a good look at it. It's much closer than I thought it was.
30 seconds.
Now, if he can get through to it, Jack, it's important that he maintains position onto the last yellow.
We must move that red next to the other yellow, I think, Jim. It's worked out okay.
Yeah, a little fortunate, but that'll do. This long yellow available to the bottom left. And what he wants to do now is, in putting this yellow, is he just wants to draw the cue ball softly over to this area to be onto the black, to the same pocket. Beautifully struck. A lot of support for the Irish team. And they don't call him Dracula's coachman for nothing.
Great shot.
Stoneface. Listen for the noise.
Time, Ireland.
The Irish out of the gate first. Not difficult to tell. It's 1-0, courtesy of Thomas Kinsella.
Third frame, France to break, trading 2 frames to 0.
Beaufet breaking off here. He had an outstanding junior career in France. He's got number 7 spot in the national rankings now. So a very worthy player indeed.
Foul. 1 visit, open table.
Break off again. You've got to keep that cue ball on the table. You can't let your opponent step in with the cue ball in hand. Paul Noonan has a rather enviable nickname. They call him Mr. Perfect.
.30
At 33 years of age, this is his
Yellow ball in
first
play.
appearance representing Ireland. So those nerve endings have to be a little frayed. But it's yellows in play for Paul.
Time out, please.
He's quite an experienced player, Paul. I've actually spoke to Paul during the week, Jim. He's very experienced, even though he hasn't played for Ireland before. He's had a lot of snooker experience on the big table. He mentioned to me that the 8-footer wouldn't worry him. So I suppose it's up to him now, you know. Well done's better than well said, but he seemed fairly confident on the 8-footer, so, and look forward to playing on it. The other fellow, young Yannick, he's been a great junior in his day. He played juniors the last few years, moved in the senior ranks, and it's good to see a product of our junior development in any country come through into the senior level, and he's obviously done pretty well.
That's a mistake from Paul. With a snooker background, you would expect potting to be one of his strong suits. Young Yannick Bofi now, only 19 years of age, and they voted him the best young prospect in France. A lot of supporters
30 seconds.
also making the trek over. Very important, as I said earlier, for France not to lose sight of Ireland here. Got to stay on their heels. The Irish team decidedly more experienced at this level. Mind you, I have to say, for a young player representing his country for the first time, he's taken a lot of time out there, showing a lot of composure. Nothing nervy about the way he's progressing.
I think through the junior ranks they tend to be a little bit impetuous with their shots, Jim, and I think he's learnt from that. And now that he's moved into senior ranks, and it's a credit to him that he is taking that little bit longer, just to double check things.
Great red down the cushion there. And if he's on the red nearest the bottom right, he will have really matured this situation. Looks very close. And there you can see our camera angle does nothing to disprove that. Looks like he may just be able to get through there though, Jack.
It was a tough one, Jim, for sure.
30 seconds.
He's going to play this red top left and hopefully land on the last red to the top right of our screen. And we'll know it's in before him.
So Homer.
A lot of nerves out there, never mind from the players. He's 2 good pots away from putting the first frame on the French side of the scoreboard.
He just needs to stroke the ball now, Jim. He doesn't need to do anything too fancy with it.
Beautiful. This has been a tremendous performance from the 19-year-old. And the French have reason to cheer. Yannick fist in the air. And high fives for him all around. He takes the first frame for France. Ireland leading in this best of 27 semi-final, 2-1. Welcome back to the 1997 Embassy World Championship. And now for Ireland, it's going to be Jason Doyle. And his opponent from France, Lionel Fronval.
Leading 2-1.
New player, Jason, for Ireland, Jim. Hasn't played for Ireland before. But at a team meeting not so long ago, only an hour or so ago, they believed that they had the best side I've ever had here for the world title. So obviously he's a player of some talent.
Red ball's in play.
Quite interesting.
You didn't agree with the choice there. You thought maybe...
Yellow balls to play.
Not so much that. I just think it was a bad shot, perhaps. But I think it's interesting that both sides have held back their trump card so far, Jim. We've got Greg Farron, last year's world champion, the runner-up, Tony Holgate, the captain. Still haven't played for Ireland yet. And we've got Eric Lacoste and a few other very experienced players there that have played in the world titles before for France. They seem to be holding them back, and I think they're hoping to get away to a good start rather than forcing one, so it could be interesting.
Lionel looking strong. He's in a good position here. Control that cue ball, because this one's there for him. He's just got to corral those nerves as well and let that cueing arm provide the motion that it's done for a number of years now. This man's got a lot of experience. He's been the champion in the Toulouse area of France for a number of years. Ranked number 4 in France. And I understand, Jack, that he's got a military background, so you got to feel he's got a steady nerve.
Well, yeah, so I think any discipline like that, it makes them very tough mentally. And mental toughness is certainly a great attribute here, if you've got it. You wouldn't want to come here with a weak one, I can assure you. So he's obviously very disciplined, and discipline's another thing, you know. It's so important, you have to have it.
Well, he's taken a lot of time. Obviously trying to build on the moment here. Looks like he's just got enough angle to stun down for the yellow to the bottom right. And this is going to be the important shot. He wants position on that black. It looks like all he has to do is come off the bottom rail, finish up in this area to lead the black to the right center if it passes. That's certainly one option.
That'd be the shot I'd play, Jim. Always try and find a path where the white ball's going to travel the less distance.
30 seconds.
I think I may have screwed into the side cushion there just slightly, and
well, this 8-ball to bring France right back into it, and just look at him build, focusing all his concentration. He knows this is the shot. It's in. A great performance from Lionel Frobel. He brings France right back into it. They lost the first two. They've won the last two. Finally poised now. Ireland 2, France 2. Big shot this. He wants to hit this. Doesn't want to give up the 2 visits to PJ. Well, he's got the hit, I think. Look at the cheering on that the French side is trying to give Laurent. It was a great effort, that one. Certainly worth another look.
this is a big frame in the match, I believe, Jim. If PJ Fortune can win this frame, I really believe Ireland will win the match. They've still got Greg Farron to come, Tony Holgate, Robert Brady, and their firepower for the Irish team in this round. And a 2-game buffer before they even play is huge. I really believe that, and France have to win this. They really have to win this one to stay in the match. I really believe that. Not that there's ever any certainty in pool, but I believe that
30 seconds.
The likes of Tony Holgate, Greg Farron, winner and runner-up in last year's World Championship, are class players, and as is everybody at this tournament for that matter, but these guys have a habit of winning a bit more regularly than most.
Sorry.
Well, if nothing else, Laurent Travers has left the black in the middle of the table, so as yet PJ Fortune has neglected to attack. I think he's trying to buy himself those 2 visits, and
I'm sure, Jim. I'm sure he's just a little on the nervous side, a little bit like Michael was last game. Michael didn't get out, and as we said, he jabbed it and clutched at the cue a few times, made a few mistakes. He'll just play conservatively, I think. In form, they go for these sort of things. At the moment, they're just trying to feel their way into the match. I'm sure they'll improve in future rounds. They'll improve once they've been out there and had a bit of a hit with the balls. And
Total snooker.
that's a nice shot, actually. It's going to keep him right in the game, and opportunity to get 2 shots as well.
looks like he may be trying to swerve around the yellow. This is a difficult shot.
30 seconds.
So good effort. Good effort.
Well, as yet, PJ hasn't been able to exact the foul from Laurent Travers.
The Black's in a slightly better position as far as the Irish are concerned. That's about all he's got from this. I really think PJ needs to have a little bit of a dip here now. Have a go and chance himself. He only needs reasonable position over behind the black to play it down into this bottom pocket.
Obviously, the experienced PJ Fortune doing his utmost to try and get those 2 visits, but as yet, the 33-year-old can't seem to get the foul.
Thirty seconds.
It's a good shot.
A little heavy, if anything, Jack. You'd like your blade down right in the jaws of the corner pocket and put the pressure on PJ.
I think PJ must go now. He can go now. His only other option is to pot this ball in the centre and just bounce this one off down in the bottom right-hand corner and get another snooker. If he does that, he's giving the opponent another opportunity to play a shot, and anything can happen at this level. They knock balls in from anywhere. You really have to attack the game now, I
30
think.
seconds.
I just didn't fancy him for anything. He was too hesitant when he could have gone earlier.
Yes, Jim.
2 visits.
PJ's hit that like a blacksmith.
Probably wishes he was one now.
Yeah, but he's a good player. He'll get over this. He's obviously...
The long block for Laurent, and that's what he wanted. He brings France back to level terms here. It's all to play for. 3-3, the scoreline. It's a race to 14, remember. And it's all happening here in Manchester. Yes, it's the Irish captain, Holgate. He's up against Laurent Charpentier. Dynamic name.
I don't know a lot of Laurent. I think this may be his first visit to the world titles.
7th frame, France to break, 3 frames all.
Scoreline, 3 frames apiece. Charpentier breaking off. A tall order for him against the Irish captain, Tony Holgate.
Yes, Jim, fantastic player, Tony Holgate. And, magnificent
Open
leader as
table.
well. He's done a magnificent job with the Irish team over the years. We've always thought we'd beat Ireland fairly comfortably. They beat us this year. They beat us 2 years ago in the semi-final, and I think it's largely due to him. I really believe Australia are a better side man for man than the Irish, but Tony just finds something extra out of the Irish.
Red ball's in play.
And, what stands him out as a leader. He's a very good leader.
And not to mention one of the best individual players in the world. Remember last year's runner-up in the individual championships, narrowly losing, easy for me to say, eh, Tony, as you go through it, to his compatriot Greg Farron in the final, but a truly great performer of the international scene. They call him the Basher. A lot of flamboyance.
He's not frightened to have a go, that's for sure. He, if he gets in a difficult position, he's not shy at hitting a ball down a cushion and screwing back the length of the table if need be. A real character of the game, Jim. I think the game needs characters, and Tony's certainly one of them. Magnificent player, magnificent leader.
He's making short work of this.
Well, his team need it too at the moment. They've led virtually all the way, and they keep getting clawed back to square. They need him to put in a big one now. Put them back in front. If Greg Farron and Robert Brady can follow up on that, they've kicked away at the end of the first round, and that's a very advantageous position to be in. Magnificent.
This black down the left cushion to re-establish the 1-frame lead for Ireland. Irish eyes are smiling. Tony Holgate leads by example. And look at him exhort the side on. 4-3 Ireland over France. Great performance, that one from Holgate. Jason Doyle from Ireland up against Frederick Bellois. It's a 5-4 Irish lead as we speak. And the left-hander Doyle. He dropped his first frame, so he'll be eager to put one on his side and certainly help establish that 2-frame lead that Ireland enjoyed. Twice, in fact, they've been in front by 2 at 2-0 and at 5-3. Yellow ball's nominated.
Yellow ball's in play.
And this a big chance for Jason Doyle. And certainly Greg Farron, Captain Holgate, they're all watching. Sometimes these middle matches are the ones that can tell the tale. And very graciously, I was joined by Jack Halligan, and I can tell you that now I've got another player from down under. Made his way up to the commentary booth to sit beside me. It's the captain this time, Mick Delahunty. And Mick, obviously very much in the same boat as Jack Halligan. You know these teams very, very well, having come to England and played against them many times. And there we see, as we've seen many times, the ball come out of the pocket and stay on the table.
Yes, Jim, the tables are playing very, very well, but they do just seem to hit the back of the pocket and occasionally come out. That one, I think he hit the jaws rather than the back of the pocket. But great to be here. We've played these teams during the round robin series and lost to both of them 14-13. So I really have no preference to which one's going to win. They're both very good sides. And as we can see from the scoreline, very even, 5-4 at the moment.
It looks like it might well go right down to the wire. Frederick Bellois there from France. Rather unlucky to lose his first frame. But the number of players that have come up to me during these championships and told me how difficult this table was playing, well, I can't count them all.
It's pretty, not the greatest shot in the world there. He hasn't lifted himself much. He's the only red that's readily available. He's right over the top of the yellow to play, so he's going to have to pull out something fairly good here to
30 seconds.
To clean up, that's for sure. Very experienced player though, Frederick. He's been around. I think he's played here every year I have, and that's the last 4, so had a go at the double. Now the table's at Jason's mercy, of course. He has to still play well, and the pressure in teams seems to be different to individual type titles because you're playing for your mates, and if you happen to miss, then you feel as though you've let your team down rather than just yourself. Has one difficult yellow to get on, the one down the side rail. Has to really work hard to make position on that, but well, I don't know how he's going to do it.
30 seconds.
Well, certainly that yellow that you're talking about right here. I just put a hook around it.
It's not a fish, Jim. But yes, it's going to be like catching a big fish. It's going to be very hard to get on, but Well, he's got the yellow down to the corner pocket now. He's going to have to play it very well, maybe stun the white across. See if he can get close to that one we were talking about.
30 seconds.
Once again. They weren't easy to get on, but he's certainly making it difficult. Might have to pull off a double or some form of safety somewhere, I think. Jason's a good player. I think this is his second year in the titles, and certainly the second year I've seen him here anyway.
30 seconds.
And certainly he's performed very well over the last couple of years. But, like I said, finals in front of the cameras and lots of pressure, so we'll see how he goes. Looks to be doubling back into the centre pocket.
He loves to play all the pool games, snooker and American pool, so he loves all the disciplines. But he'd like to have seen this yellow ball disappear.
Now the table looks to be at Frederick's mercy. He's this one into the centre, back onto the other two, maybe back into the other centre next.
30 seconds.
Just overhit that a bit, Mick.
Just overhit it a bit, didn't he, Jim? Now he's got to send that white ball up to the other end of the table, maybe for the... well, he's got to... Looks like he's playing everything into centre pockets, but certainly he's made it difficult for himself, that's for sure.
Well, he's having a good look, but Frederick Ballois, top of the table as far as the French contingent are concerned. Just under an 80% winning percentage in the round-robin stages.
30 seconds.
So they have to be relying on him very heavily to produce the form that he started out with.
Excellent shot. Right onto the easy red into the middle, and well, you'd expect him to clean up, especially with an average like that, 80% in the round robins against all the teams in the world. It's a great effort.
They know it. Doesn't have to do too much here. Just drop this red in the left center. He's going to be on the red to the opposite middle with a nice angle.
The red behind the black goes either into the middle or down the bottom, so he might just stun off this first one, go past it and put it back into the same middle, I think. Looks like it's got a little bit of angle on the white. He's played it very, very well. It's going to be an interesting match, Jim, if he wins this. 5-all. Right back in again.
Yes, the French not to be denied. The simple black. And we're right back where we started. All level, 5 frames apiece. Eric Lacaze, the French captain, couldn't be happier. They keep fighting back. Scoreline exactly where we started. This simple black. That confirmed it. It now effectively is a race to 9.
This Steffen's been very impressive. First time we've seen him here this year, and well, he's had rave reviews from the French, but I've seen him a number of times. I've been very impressed with the way he's played. So,
well, they're a very young team. Loads of ability. What they may lack in experience, they make up for in talent. But it's going to be Michael Fortune in with the first opportunity.
Foul. 1 visit. Open table.
Lost the cue ball straight into the middle for Stefan.
Certainly not a good start to the frame for Stefan. The Reds certainly look as though they're all out. I'd expect Michael to take the Reds. The Yellows are reasonable as well, but he's taking the Reds.
He looked rather nervy to me in his opening frame.
30 seconds.
I noticed a very jerky
Red
cue
ball in
action.
play.
As I said then, usually a sign that he's not settled.
I felt the same, to tell you the truth, Jim. Michael's a good friend of mine, and he's a very, very good player, but he was very nervous that first match. I think Ireland see this as their big chance to win a world title, and so the guys have been around for a while, like Michael, who's been here every year, I think, and he's a bit nervy. He'd love to win that world title, and so
Total snooker.
they're putting themselves under a bit of pressure, but they are a very good side. As we can see from that shot, he's played a bad one first up, hasn't he, really? It's, to snooker himself with all the Reds available wasn't great.
30 seconds.
He's totally misjudged that, so it's going to be 2 visits for Stefan Jean.
Playing yellows.
Well, now we'll see how Stefan handles the pressure. Like I said, I've been very impressed with the way he's been playing in this tournament. If his form keeps up, you'd expect him to finish this game now.
No, he didn't.
Hard first shot, has to play the yellow onto the yellow, I think. So these are always missable. He's played it very well.
Well, France has never been in front in this.
Well, all the yellows are at his mercy, Jim. He should go game here. Should finish the game.
As one would expect, they play with a lot of emotion.
Yes, it's hard to know what they're... Well, most of the English-speaking countries, not many of us speak French, and it's hard to know what they're saying half the time, but they're certainly emotional to people and very, very friendly. And there's the team manager. I can't even pronounce his name. I've known him for a number of years, but because he doesn't speak a word of English, it's very hard to get to know them. But
30 seconds.
Lovely man, and he's always up there cheering his players on and... He's right on the yellow. That if there was going to be a problem, that's the yellow, and he looks as though he's right on it. He just floats through for the yellow closest to the black next, into the corner pocket.
Well, this is the only awkward of the yellows on the table. If he does happen to slot this one in, remember he's still got that second visit in hand. A big moment for young Stefan.
Not only is it missed, but
Second
he's also
visit.
snookered himself sitting right on top of the black. Probably a good thing for him it did miss, Jim. At least now, if he doesn't get out of the snooker, he's got a pocket covered.
Never looked in. About that shot, a tactical
2
move
visits.
by the young French player.
I'm sure he wouldn't be happy with that. He would have liked to have gone game there, but oh well, he's right in it at the moment. Michael's taking the long red up the top, just rushing his shots a bit, I think.
Second
Jim.
visit.
Second visit in play with the foul having been committed by the French player. Intentionally, of course, just rolling it down as we saw over that yellow. And down now to Michael Fortune to try and put pay to it.
The tactics are going to continue. I think he's going to try and just put this red over the hole in front of the yellow. Ah, blinded me. It's not a bad shot, though. Put the black safe onto the corner, onto the side cushion. Misread it totally what he was doing, but not a bad shot.
Seems like everybody save you and I, Mick, are chewing their fingernails out there.
Yeah, they're certainly a bit nervy, I think.
There's not much left on his.
No. Like I said earlier, Jim, I think it's a lot harder playing for a team than it is for yourself. It's singles events or, tournament, singles tournament.
30 seconds.
If you lose, well, you've only got yourself to blame. If you lose in this particular situation, you've let your mates down, you've let your country down. There's so much at stake from the mind point of view.
Like you've got to explain it, and
yeah. So these guys are feeling a little bit. I know exactly how they feel. Let me tell you, I've been there before. So
it also goes without saying it's a lot tougher watching sometimes than it is playing.
As we can see from the faces of those of Thomas and Bernard there. It's chosen. It's a great shot from Stephen. Chosen to take the yellow out, knock the red away. So Michael's tactical shot of putting the black safe certainly hasn't worked at this stage.
Not at all. It's freed the black to the same pocket. The yellow on, his choice, but I think he's got to take the one to the middle.
Good shot, just kissed into the red to hold the white near the centre of the table. It should just be an easy pot into the corner pocket, off the bottom cushion with a little bit of side and run over to the side cushion behind the black. Well, maybe he's just screwing straight back over there. I think he would have been better off playing my shot, Jim.
I agree. Off the cushion, he was almost certain to finish on the black. He's played that in a way, Mick, where he had little room for error.
He had angle on this shot as well. I just can't believe that. I suppose that's the pressure of a team's final, but that's a very, very ordinary shot.
I'm touching.
Like I said, it's his first time at these titles, and maybe just the situation, the cameras and the lights have got to him a little bit.
30 seconds.
He's played beautifully this tournament. Every time I've looked up, he's been winning frames, and he's been doing it with style. So just the nerve ends tingling a little bit.
Does he take the double on?
He's had a go.
Stefan Jean gives France the first lead of the semi-final. A terrific shot when it looked like he was in trouble. It's 6-5 now in this race to 14.
Welcome back to the New Century Hall in Manchester. The fifth running of this tournament. We're in the semi-final stages. Let's get down to it now with your commentator, Jim Walsh.
The business end, Jonathan. Thank you very much. And you can see the French side starting to grow, feel confident. All of a sudden, they look like they're in the driver's seat.
Certainly the pressure's turned around, hasn't it? With Tony Holgate, the Irish captain, coming out, this is really the time for a captain's innings. It's not a better man in the world, of course, than Tony Holgate to come in right at this moment. But I think he'd rather be coming in better circumstances than this.
So Lionel breaking off.
Open table.
It's an open table for Holgate.
I think he'd like to take the reds. Don't know if there's an easy one to start with. That's the key. Playing the red into the centre pocket. He's just got to try and hold the white position on the next red, which is a little bit... Oh, he's missed. very unlike Tony Holgate.
Very much so. In Tony's first frame, easily the most convincing win for Ireland, a breaking out from Holgate. And what a way to start this one. That's what happens when you're put under pressure. And France is really tightening the vice.
Well, it's called team pressure, isn't it, Jim? Each particular player puts more pressure on the next guy by winning frames, or at least even if he doesn't win, by making it hard for the opposition.
30 seconds.
Tony's come out in a situation he wasn't expecting. I think he expected to be up at this stage, and now he's come out and the pressure's on him. So,
but it's still an open table for Lionel, and I think the Reds look slight favourites. They're the ball of choice. Well,
Open table.
and that's without being nasty to poor old Lionel. That's a bad miss, because Tony would be feeling pretty bad about his miss, and
Red ball's in play.
now has a real opportunity to redeem that first miss. And like I said earlier, he's not the man to give two chances to.
the Reds in a strong position right now.
30 seconds.
Just one that he needs to move, isn't there, Jim? Just on the side cushion. And if he could maybe pot this one in the centre, try and make the white ball go onto the first of the two yellows on the side cushion.
I think his shot is to play the red right down onto it.
Onto the yellow.
Right
That's what
now.
he's looking at. Right. And he's not taking either of our options, Jim. It's... Took a little bit of bad luck and potted a yellow over in the other corner pocket. We weren't looking at that. We were looking at the white to see if it could open up that bad red. But
Well, he was holding his cue there, Mick. I thought he was going to play that red right
Yeah.
onto the yellow and bump that red right down over the corner. That certainly would have put him in a strong position. I have to admit, the longer I watch this 8-ball pool, the way it's played here in Britain, the more I start to understand and see some of the tactics that can be employed. And it really is a game for the intellectuals.
oh, that's a good shot. Just the one bad yellow, the one we talked about. Now it becomes his bad ball rather than Tony's bad red, but may have an opportunity right now to pop the yellow closest to it over into the corner pocket, stun back off it and try and knock it out. With two visits in hand, he's if he can do it within the frames, it's at his mercy. Opportunity to put France 3 in front.
30 seconds.
And with the young side that France has, you don't want to let them get their tails up.
No, well, they certainly they can pot out of their skin when they're going well, and if they get their confidence up, they're going to be very hard to stop. And there we go. He's opened up the yellow that I was talking about. Two visits still remaining, so probably play that yellow that he's just knocked open up into the top left-hand corner pocket. Run the white through.
He's taking a lot of time.
That's it.
Almost as though a golfer
30
walking
seconds.
around a putt.
Hasn't gone in, but that's the luxury of the two shots, of course. He's now put
Second
himself
visit.
right into the middle of the table where he's got a choice of what he does from here, and all the balls are out. So, excellent shot. I'm sure he would have loved it in, but should still probably go game with one visit.
At the start of this semi-final, Mick, I couldn't get any opinion from your teammate Jack Halligan. He wouldn't get off the fence.
Well, I'll get off it. I'll tell you what I thought. We played France first match of the tournament and lost 14-13, and we felt that we were probably a little bit underdone coming straight from overseas. Tables are a little bit different. We were a bit nervy, etc., etc., and we felt that if we played them again, we'd probably, we felt pretty confident about getting them. We lost to Ireland 14-13 in the last match of the tournament. They played very well. Not that the French didn't first up, they played very well as well. But I expected the Irish to win this match, but as you said, the French have got a few young boys, and if they get their backs up, well, I don't know if Ireland can stop them now.
Nice clean pot. Right down the line. He couldn't have hit this any better. A lot of confidence. Lionel Fronval looking to put France one frame closer to a date with England. And the French manager right now couldn't be prouder of his side.
Excellent shot there by Lionel. Just has to poke this yellow into the corner pocket and should just about have a straight shot in the black in the centre.
And not only that, he's up against Tony Holgate, the Irish captain. When you get a point from the Holgates and Farrens on the Irish side, that's like stealing one.
Also puts the Irish team under a lot more pressure, of course, because if they see their stars going down, that makes it so much harder for the rest of their players. Like I said, all you have to do is poke it in for a straight shot in the black into the centre pocket.
It's a French tidal wave, the 5th in a row for France. Storming ahead now, they lead Ireland by 8 frames to 5 in this race to 14. Eric Lacaze, he's out playing next. And up against the reigning world champion, Greg Farren. Farren under loads of pressure right now. This is a point that Ireland desperately need.
14th frame, Ireland to break, trailing 8 frames to 5.
Well, you saw Greg Farren there. Tried to give him the elbow. Unfortunately for Greg, pool is not full body contact. Well, very unlike the way Greg Farren would play in a singles match. He really smashed those. He usually likes to keep it nice and tight and take control. Try and force that tactical play into a match, but when it's only about 1 frame, you got to take the initiative.
I think he also realises that Ireland need a frame, and unlike the normal Greg Farren manner of taking a lot of time, they need it quickly. I think they need to change the momentum of this match a little bit.
Red ball's in play.
I mean, Greg's such a great player that the pressure of the situation is certainly not going to get to him. That's a fantastic shot. Just opened up everything then for himself. Right on the red in the middle.
Big chance this. Greg won his opening frame. As we have another look at that long pot, it's going to really put this one on a platter for him. But I have to say, Mick, he did it in very unconvincing fashion, winning that opening frame. Could easily have lost it.
Certainly,
30 seconds.
He was probably a little bit lucky to win it in the end, but the experience Greg has, you wouldn't expect that to worry him too much. You just get on with this one and hopefully for Ireland's sake win it. But He's under a bit of pressure, the scoreline being what it is. Eric didn't play as well as he can either in the first one, and I'm sure he'd love to get to the table. But, at this stage, doesn't look like he's likely to.
$30.
Greg, as always, taking a lot of time. Very seldom you get unforced errors from Greg Farron. John McMahon, the Irish substitute. He was in a few frames ago and really put into the pressure cooker, as was Holgate, the Irish captain. And a real look of concern on every one of the Irish team members.
Playing a lot of top on this, up to the top cushion, try and get back down the red on the side cushion. Played it very well. Wasn't easy, that, because he looked reasonably straight on it. Had a little bit of angle, but these cushions, as you were talking about earlier, they seem to have been not taking side as well as, well, running side especially, as well as some we've played on in the past. But Greg's given himself a real chance here now. As you say, taking plenty of time, just to make sure.
30 seconds.
Well, this is the sort of performance that they expected from Greg Farron.
Little bit of angle here. I think he just stun off it and put the black in the same hole. Could kiss into the yellow, but he tried that last game he played and snookered himself in the black. So,
well, Mick, I think that's exactly what Greg's looking at. Just checking the path he wants the white to take between those yellows. Black to the same pocket.
30 seconds.
It's a great shot.
Well, courtesy of Greg Farron, the world champion, Ireland stopped the rot. They finally get a frame on their side of the scoreboard. It's France 8, Ireland 6.
17th frame, France to break, leading 10 frames to 6.
Ray Doherty up against Jean-Baptiste Varveau. And it's Varveau breaking off here for France in a very comfortable position. They won't be feeling too good about that particular break.
One visit, open table.
You've got to keep that cue ball on the table, Mick. It's the sort of situation you give the incoming player the opportunity to choose the colors and place the cue ball at his leisure.
Certainly, it's normally very vital. The way this match has been going, because they haven't been going game when they get their chances, it hasn't been so vital. But Ray's an excellent player, and
Red ball's in play.
well, once again, I would expect him to go game from here. The Reds are they're at his mercy. I know the Irish think this guy's one of their top notches. He didn't make their side last year, and they were rapt to have him back this year. So. I'd like to have had the white ball a little bit back further towards the bulk line, so he could have stroked through to get onto the other two near the centre, but still all right.
We might be able to drop this in if the angle's proper. Greg Farron, Michael Fortune, best look in the house. He's either going to have to force through and try and develop that red if he can't avoid it.
Could play the one into the corner pocket here and just stun the white back out for the two in the centre, I think.
Absolutely.
good shot on the bottom of the two near the centre pocket. And also, I would assume that's the pocket where the black's going as well. Pot these two reds. Fine cut on the red near the corner pocket. Wide up inside the black. Put it back into that centre.
Ray Doherty again looking strong, just as he did in his opening frame, which he won. I think he should be saving that red for last. Easier
I think he
to
is,
get
Jim.
position on the black. He's just having a look, I guess, to see what angle he would like to come in at it.
He just wanted to see, make certainly perfect to get on the black in that middle as well. Beauty of this is even if you underhit it, you've got it up the top, or if you overhit it, you've got it down the bottom. So he's got three different pockets going for him here. So if the nerve ends tingle a little bit, you've still got options. But he doesn't look like he's too nervous. He's played this beautifully.
The black into the right-hand middle pocket.
I was probably wrong about up the top, wasn't I? I think that yellow's probably in the way. If it hadn't been there, he'd be playing it up there, I think.
It's in. Great innings for Ray Doherty. He pulls one back for Ireland. Desperately needed that point. They trail France by 10 frames to 7 in the race to 14. Patrice Celine. His opposition will come in the form of Paul Noonan from Ireland.
18th frame.
Paul Noonan
Ireland to break.
lost his opening frame, and Patrice Celine looking to maintain a perfect record. Well, what happens there now, Mick? That's the first time we've seen that.
Well, the rule is 4 balls have got to hit a cushion off the break. If that doesn't happen, then the incoming player gets a re-rack, so the balls will be re-racked, and the incoming player comes in with 2 visits.
And one of them being the break.
One of them being the break. So same options occur. If he happens to go in off the break, he still only loses 1 visit to the opponent.
2 visits.
But if he gets a ball in off the break, he still remains his 2 visits. And, well, cardinal sin. There's only 2 times that occurs with the foul break when 4 balls don't hit a cushion, or if you jump the white ball or a ball off the table when you break. Other than that, it's only ever 1 visit.
Well, he'd love to have seen a ball go in. Unfortunately for
Second
him,
visit, open table.
nothing finding its way to a pocket.
Yes, that's a situation more than any when you really want to see a ball in, because you've got 2 visits and it just, makes it so much easier. He's a good player, this boy, though. I've been very impressed with Patrice over the last few years, and I don't know if his record was that good this year, but he played very well against us, and the moment I give him a rap, he's missed.
Open table.
Well, I think Paul would be counting his lucky stars to get back to the table this early with no balls down.
Well, both of these players sporting
Open table.
just over a 50% success ratio coming into these semifinals.
Yellow ball's in play.
Don't know much about Paul. I've only heard stories about him this year. I hear he's a top-grade snooker player. 140 break, 142, I think, is his highest break. So he's obviously can play the Q sports, but hasn't been playing a lot of 8 ball. Hasn't played a lot of 8 ball, from what I know.
Well, Mick, I can tell you he does come from a snooker background. He's a 33-year-old driver, and they call him Mr. Perfect. I've got a feeling he might have a 147 to his credit with a nickname like that.
He's missed a difficult shot, but he's certainly covered that bottom pocket.
Red ball supply.
Patrice has got a red down there, so he's going to certainly have to work hard to win this frame. I don't think I should have said what a good player Patrice is, because he certainly is a good player. I think he's just feeling the pressure a little bit. I might be wrong. He might have decided just to put it over the hole and see if he gets another chance. But what's Paul doing here? Trying to cover the black.
Well, Paul, obviously, as he lists snooker as one of his loves, gonna have a much fancied long game. But at least he's in control of that bottom left area, and the Irish team know that. But that was a long ways away.
Yeah, difficult. The 8-ball's such a different game to snooker, and the tactics and those sort of things that come into it. It's very hard. Snooker players come into our game and expect just to be able to beat everybody, but because of the tactics and a little bit of different sort of pressure of, sometimes just potting 3 or 4 balls is harder than potting 20 on a snooker table because of the situation, the placement of other people's, of where the opposition's balls are, and Paul will certainly get better at it, I'm sure. He's obviously a great player. The French are still feeling the pressure, that's for sure, but they're in a good situation at the moment, 10-7 up.
30 seconds.
And even as Patrice eliminates some of the reds, Ireland in a strong position here.
And coming back to the thinking again, I think he's going to try and double this red over in front of the black, try and take that pocket out. If you play it perfectly and leave the red over the hole, he's suddenly turned the game around a little bit.
Whichever one of these teams should go through this semi-final to advance, and Tony Holgate's hoping it's going to be his Irish side. From what I've seen, Mick, they're going to have to really step it up a few gears if they're going to compete against England, and Eric Lacaze obviously feels that his team, this might be the year. Strongest team they've ever brought over for the World Championships.
I think they both are, in fact. Certainly the Irish are as strong as I've ever seen them, and the French as well. So, look, semi-finals sometimes can be like this. I think you want to make that grand final so much. There can be even more pressure than there is in a grand final. In the grand final, you're there, you just go and play, and whatever happens, happens. But making the grand final sometimes is even more important than winning it. And I expect whichever one wins to play very well in the grand final. I think it should be a fantastic final. England are a great side, but these teams will lift. Patrice has got to put this over the hole, really. Not much choice of going game.
That's right. No value in potting it. He's got to get control of that bottom right corner, because the finish just isn't on. I think that was unintended, if the expression on Patrice's face is anything to go by.
Certainly he wasn't trying to pot it, Jim. He would have loved it over that hole.
Never would have left the cue ball there.
Now, really, he's got to pull off something exceptional, doesn't he?
$30 seconds.
Oh, it's a great pot.
Well, it was just about exceptional.
2 cushions, top corner pocket.
That was a great pot, displaying a little of the ability that I think you were forewarning us of.
He hasn't got much option. Like I said, off 2 cushions into the opposite corner pocket. Suck the white back, get on the black, and if you fluke it, you go. You know, it's...
Just like the book says.
Well, you're dead anyway, aren't you?
30 seconds.
He's got the double kiss. He certainly went for the shot I was talking about. But, well, Paul should clean up from here, that's for sure.
Paul Noonan, even with the luxury of knowing that his opposition's red, is in relatively safe position. Greg Farron, I think, knows. He's smiling. Very comfortable position for Ireland right now, at least in this frame. The overall score, that's another story. He looks to have enough angle here, Mick, to be able to stun right up in behind that black for the same pocket to be used.
Certainly that's what he looks like he's doing, and shouldn't be a problem, should it? It's a good shot.
Well, Ireland's starting to respond now. 2 in a row, courtesy of Paul Noonan. And the scoreline now reads France 10 and Ireland 8.
$30 seconds.
Well, this is half a chance. Tony knows he's let Stefan see the yellow. He could really throw the gauntlet down if he laid this over the bottom corner.
Certainly, over the holes is an option, but Tony doesn't need that hole. I think Stefan will go with this with a lot of left-hand side and try and come down and kiss one of these 2 reds near the bottom pocket and see if he can stay on the black in the same hole. Here we go. Here goes the massive side. He's certainly hitting a long way to the left. Likes to go for it, this boy, doesn't he? Maybe your shot was right, Jim. Over the hole would have put a lot more pressure on, wouldn't it? Where the yellow's landed. Tony's got 3 shots now. It's a great shot.
That's what Tony wants to do, is remove some of the red, so if he does get himself another opportunity, a little less pressure.
I think Tony will probably go game now. In fact, with that yellow where it is, the pressure's off a little bit. He just... I think I shouldn't say too much. He nearly missed that one.
I don't think anything can be taken for granted. Good confident pot, that one.
Double kiss was always the hard part of the shot, wasn't it? The red not right over the hole and just lost a little bit. Now maybe that snooker you were talking about, or will he go for it? He's had a go. Played it beautifully.
Shows a lot of confidence. Willing to take the game as it presents itself. We haven't seen a lot of that, to be fair. A lot of players would have probably played the snooker and tried to increase the percentages, but Tony very aggressive and very talented.
Sucked to the side cushion and back across for the ball into the middle. Oh, what a great shot. Perfect angle just to slide down to the black.
Captain's innings from Tony Holgate. Stéphane Jean really did very little wrong. This black for 11-9. It goes in! And a very stern look from the captain, Tony Holgate, to stop the rot somewhat. 11-9 the score, France in front. Yannick Beaufils from France and Thomas Kinsella.
21st frame, France to break, leading 11 frames to 9.
So Yannick with the opportunity to break off here, the advantage his if he can get a ball down.
Yellow ball.
Much doubt he'll be choosing red balls, I don't think, here. Captain Eric Lacaze still giving those fingernails a good workout. Be starting on the knuckles soon, I would think, especially if
Red ball's nominated.
France were to get through and oppose England in the final.
I was just about to say Yannick hasn't actually nominated a
Red ball's in
colour.
play.
As he was lining it up, he just called out reds at the last second. So he was very, well, not lucky, obviously he had remembered, but if you don't nominate the colour after putting one off the break, it's 2 shots to the opposition. It might have been fatal in this particular case.
All the red balls open. Just a matter of controlling the white and working it into the designated areas as far as position is concerned.
Just play lots of top on this one, I think, and the top cushion down to the one on the side cushion, and then make it easy. Make it easy from there. That's what he's done. He just needs to pot this one down the rail, and life should be pretty easy. Yannick's won both his previous games in reasonable style as well. And
Yet to lose.
that's what I was talking about. It's a great pot.
This one was hit with a lot of confidence. Never looked out. too much on the billiard. Took his eye off the pot. He
Yellow
wanted to make sure he was going to be bumping that red, lining it up for the bottom right. That could be a very costly mistake. Thomas Kinsella with the opportunity, if he decides to take it, to dislodge those two yellows. Just to the right of the black as we look, assuming, of course, that they don't pass anywhere.
You're right, I think he's just trying to nudge them a little bit. He's done that. He's had no luck. Needed to kiss them full, Jim, and may have the yellow into the centre pocket, but it doesn't look like it. Two balls that are close together to the left-hand side of the black is probably on in the corner pocket. He may have to play the yellow that's closest to the wide onto them and pray that he pots it and then hope for a result, because
30 seconds.
realistically it doesn't really matter where he leaves the white ball on this table at the moment. It looks like Yannick's got a chance.
I think that's the shot he's playing. Great shot. Super recovery from Thomas.
He's taking it on. He's still got some work to do, but he's back at the table with a chance again now.
This 3-ball plant was far from easy, given the position of the cue ball. And that was a horrible attempt, but the saving grace, he's covered the pocket, but he may have the angle on this red to develop.
It's amazing, isn't it? I think Thomas got a bit tentative there. He played the good shot, and then this is when you've really got to keep yourself together, because hold on, I really have to play a good shot here. And well, he's put it over the hole, but as you say, I think Yannick's got a chance to pot this red into the middle and knock the other one out. And with the third red where it is, he's going to have automatic position on it. Doesn't matter where the white lands, really. There we go. Landed on the third red that we talked about, and with angle to get back onto the other red again now.
Yes, what looked like a bad result wasn't. And he's got a big pocket here. The yellow serving as a bumper. And what's more, guaranteed to finish on the black.
Just has to bring the white ball back a little bit. I think he'd rather not kiss the yellow. I mean, stranger things have happened. You play off the yellow and the yellow comes back in front of the white and stops you from putting the black or something silly like that. But as you say, it's there just in case he plays it averagely.
To a 12-9 lead, just 2 more frames required to book a date against England. That's certainly shaping up like being a protracted tactical ploy.
We've seen a number of those tonight, haven't we?
Well, we're not a long ways off
30 seconds.
with 14-minute. Segment with this frame, and
Foul.
may not be the longest, but by the time it's all said and done, it might be far out front in that department, because there's a long road to hoe yet.
So now here's an opportunity. Try and pot this red into the centre pocket. Screw the white back to the side cushion. No, he's just putting the yellow safe. So screw the white back to the side cushion, put the other red under the black, then give him 2 shots, leaving the white right up the other end of the table. But obviously he's thinking a little bit differently to the way I am. It's not a bad shot. Here we go. He's going to give the 2 shots now, maybe. Feels that he's got the black safe.
You look at his face, and he really looks like a man on a mission, does Eric Lacaze. He's the French captain.
Here we go. Is he going to give the 2 shots?
30 seconds.
The one
No,
thing
he's
about
doubling the black. Oh,
Foul. 2 visits.
that's very unlucky. Even though where the whites landed, it would have been a foul snooker anyway.
A foul snooker.
Now, what does Ray do? Options. Nominate the opposition's red. Whack it into the pack there. Open them all up, open the black up, screw the white up the other end of the table to get on that other yellow. And 2 shots on the black, I suppose. It's
30 seconds.
Can he nominate the black as the yellow?
He could nominate the black, play it on, but the risk there is that the black stays behind the reds, and even though he might get on the other one, if the black stays on top of the red, then you're in real trouble.
And what about this option he's just exercised?
Well, I think it's the worst option he could have taken, quite honestly, unless he can play a really good shot and screw down and knock it out. Now he can't go game. Now all he's going to do is just get the black out, give 2 shots back again. Maybe it's not the worst option. It's the team option. He said that he's going to get 2 shots later on. He could have taken the risk and whacked the hell out of this pocket. But if the black has gone safe, then he probably would have lost the frame. So, but not terribly attacking. Poor old Ray is under a bit of pressure, I think. He's probably, from a team point of view, he's done the right thing. Now Eric will be looking to get that black back over where it was again, of course.
Second visit.
Eric, just over 26 years of age. Believe it or not, he's one of the elder statesmen on the French side.
He's looking maybe to move these reds away from the hole. Wouldn't be a bad attacking shot. You've got the black covered. Open up the reds and let him have a go at the yellow. It's a good shot. Oh, and he's fluked one as well. Apologises to Ray, but you know that's part of the game, and Eric's a great sportsman and certainly would feel sorry for Ray, but I'm sure he'll take it. Double the red over the other side if he gets this. Is just about all over.
Well, he's got one of the best examples of a potter's walk that I've seen in pool.
Yeah. As you said, a man on the mission.
They sense it. The victory at hand. You think we'll get any emotion from Eric?
I think he'll jump a mile high, quite honestly.
Lacaze, the French captain. He's gone in style. The French team are through to the final. The captain puts the final nail in the Irish coffin, and what a way to go out. Arguably, France's best win ever in the World Championships.
Well, Eric, congratulations.
Thanks.
We knew it was going to be a nail biter, but I want to see your hands because you were doing the most biting of all. It was a very tense game, wasn't it?
Yes, but yes, very tensive game. But I want to congratulate the Paddies to be through the semi-final again. And maybe next year will be your turn. Cheers for this game.
Did you think with the young players that you had that you could be as good as you were in the final moments in such a tense and pressureful game?
Oh, they're all very good. Maybe in France we've got many young players, but time after time we're getting better, we're improving, and all of them they're really great players.
Well, you must be confident now that you can beat England in the final?
Yeah, we go for it anyway.
Bon chance.
Cheers.
Well, Eric Cantona may have left Manchester, but France are very much here at the New Century Hall. That's it for now, though. They play England in the final. Till then, goodbye.